Hey guys, Stafford Gambit is an extremely tricky line. It can create many problems for white if they have not studied the way to play against it. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different alternatives to refute this interesting gambit. Keep watching. So we have a Stafford Gambit after the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight takes e5, knight c6, knight takes c6, and then d takes c6. This is the starting point for this line. In this position, white has a pawn up, but black could have some compensation, and it is about the easy development for the pieces they can have, and also the options with the knight and the queen going to d4 or h4 in some lines. In general, the way to refute Stafford Gambit is related to the idea of disconnecting queen, bishop, and knight, since these 3 pieces are going to put a lot of pressure on the king side, especially in squares like f2 or h2. If they can target the 3 pieces at the same time, some of those squares they are going to create many problems, but if you can get rid of one of them, then it's going to be pretty easy to defend. Understanding this idea is going to be key to refute Stafford Gambit, even if your opponent gets out of some of the lines I'm going to suggest here in the video. So the first alternative I want to suggest to refute Stafford Gambit is the move knight c3. This time we are developing and protecting the pawn on e4. Usually a Stafford Gambit player will use the idea bishop c5 here, and then we cannot play something normal like d3 because then we are getting into what they want, knight g4, many threats here. Black is actually better in that position, so we are going to play here the move h3, avoiding those ideas. Here they can try something like queen d4, targeting f2. We will play then queen f3, also defending the square e4. Our queen is out, but it's not like exposed because black doesn't have a way to get advantage of the queen outside. They don't have a bishop g4, they don't have a knight e5, so the queen is actually very well. And look at black queen on d4. Later in the middle game we'll get a tempo by developing the bishop to e3. So here they can try something like bishop e6. We will play here d3, and we will have a very good middle game. Observe that black pieces are not creating any real problem here, and in the next moves we are planning to play bishop e2, bishop e3, and castling. Probably either king side or queen side is going to be fine. The second alternative is to play e5, and here a Stafford Gambit player will try knight e4, which is not the best move, but is the trickiest line. I mean, our options like knight d5 are not creating any real threat, any real problem for white, and it's just a normal middle game with a pawn up for the first player. So knight e4, and well, notice we cannot play here d3, we are getting into the trick. In this position black plays bishop c5 and the pressure on f2 is just too much. If we capture the knight, then deflection, trying to get our queen, and if we stay there they play bishop g4 with a skewer. So after bishop c5, also the move bishop e3 is not going to work because of the trade here, and then queen h4 and knight takes e3. So yeah, this is actually a big mistake because of bishop c5. So the right move in this position is going to be d4. We are avoiding the bishop development over c5, and well, they can still try some other trick in this position. For example, black can play here queen h4, and then they are threatening mate here. The trick here is that if we play g3, there is knight takes g3, and a fork here getting our rook, and a very good position for black. However, after queen h4 we don't have to fall for that. We can just play here bishop e3, and this position is just too good. Notice something we said at some point at the beginning is that we are disconnecting the 3 minor pieces. At this point it's just a knight and a queen threatening f2, but we are defending f2, so nothing happens this time. And in the next moves we are planning ideas like bishop d3 and knight d2, developing, trading, and we have a pawn up, so there won't be any problem in this position for white. And finally, the third alternative to refute Stafford Gambit, and actually my favorite line, is going to be this move, d3. Here, the only move that can create some tricks is bishop c5, and then we play this, bishop e2. Remember, we want to avoid the move knight g4. Observe that a move like bishop g5, also avoiding knight g4, is falling for another famous trick, and it is this move knight takes e4. Since when we capture the queen we receive mate in 2 moves with bishop takes pawn and bishop g4. So in this position, after bishop c5, of course we don't have to play bishop there. We go with bishop e2, and this is going to be perfect for white. Here black can try two main options, either knight g5, knight g4 or h5, but they don't create any real problem. After knight g4, we just take the knight, and it looks like they lost a piece, but it's not like that, because they can play here queen h4, threatening mate, threatening the bishop. But this is still fine for us. We just play here queen f3, defending or stopping the mate, and after bishop takes bishop on g4, we just play queen g3. Remember, one of the main things when we have material up is to trade pieces. We shouldn't forget that. So queen g3, just trying to trade or forcing the queen to go back. They can try queen here, we play knight c3, and well, this position there is nothing. I mean, black is not threatening anything. We just develop, we have a pawn up, so trade pieces, try to improve all the time, and white is much better. So the other line is when they play after bishop e2, h5, wanting to continue with these ideas of knight g4. And then remember, we said we want to disconnect the three pieces. We don't want the three pieces creating problems at the same time. So we play c3 here, and the idea is that we don't want the bishop attacking f2 anymore. After knight g4, well, we play d4, and this is just perfect for white. Bishop d6, okay, e5. And this position is just clearly better, or probably even a decisive advantage for white. There, black is not creating any problem. One more time, and we have a pawn up. If you guys have any question, feel free to write it in the comments. Check out this video over here, I'm sure you will like it. Thank you, like, subscribe, see you on the next.